friends, welcome back to another episode of Kayleigh Grows, and today I am finally doing a video that I've been putting off for like weeks and weeks. I have been honestly just like so busy. I don't even know what videos are coming out when or whatever, but I know that my plants are suffering. So I have a bunch of plants that I've gotten in previous videos, or they're just like struggling in general. So I'm going to finally be potting up some of these plants, and yeah, let's go. Why not? I don't even know which one I want to do first. I think what I'm actually going to be doing first, just because it's right in front of me, I think I have two Terrarium viridifoliums, two of them. Just a green one and then a variegated one. The variegated one was a present from not that long ago, but my regular green one has gotten so long that it's starting to fall out of the pot. So I would like to repot this one, and I'm also going to be repotting the variegated one as well. So without further ado, I'm going to start potting. Yeah, I already have some soil that's out from a plant that I just unpotted, so I'm just going to, oh, hello? You can't see me at all, can you? Well, I don't know how long that was blurry for, but my plant is ready to go. I'm just moving that sphagnum to the side because I'm not going to be putting that into the pot. I'm going to be putting the soil in to the bottom, placing my plant in, placing some more soil in. Since these plants kind of trail, I like to have a pretty heavy pot, just because then they're not going to like fall out of the pot like my other one is. I've been meaning to repot that one for literally months, but I just haven't. So here we go. And I have some of my own soil over here, just to fill in around the top. So that is my variegated viridifolium. I will be watering all these at the end, but that's it to begin with. And then the second one that I'm going to be doing is my regular green viridifolium. This one I'm also going to be reusing this soil. Oh boy. Oh boy, look at all those roots. I'm really trying not to break this. So actually, instead of like completely unpotting it, I am just going to be placing it into the new pot right here. And I'm not placing it in the middle just because of the way that it leans. I'm hoping to give a little bit more support off the side. Oh boy, yeah, see, like it's already trying to fall out. However, once I water it, I will be pushing a little bit more down to hopefully root it a little bit more. But see how it like leans? So I have it potted all the way on this side so that as it leans, it has a little bit more support. I'm also going to be removing this yellow leaf. Oh boy, okay. Ooh, okay, yeah, it really wants to fall out, so I'm not even going to lift it and show you guys, just like that. Give it some more support. Place it there so it's not going to fall out of the pot immediately. Okay. The last plant that I want to repot that isn't a carnivorous plant, I have this beauty right here. This is a Philodendron Splendid. It's just a little plug, so I'm going to be removing the, obviously it was just watered not very long ago, but I'm just removing the, I don't know what this is even considered, like fabric There we go. Cutie. And I'm going to be potting it in this because the pot that I'm putting it in does not have drainage. So I'm just going to be using a little cover pot. This is a very large up pot, but I'm not the best at remembering to water plants. Lately I've just been so busy that I haven't had the time to water quite as often. So I'm going to be putting it into a slightly larger pot with a very airy mix still. So then I can water it and it will stay a little bit more moist, a little bit wetter. So little cutie right here. I might actually put another pot underneath it just to like lift it up a little bit more. But that's going to be it for now. And then I do have two carnivorous plants that I'm going to be potting. The first one is going to be this tiny little Nepenthes pitcher plant. So, oh my god, it's so cute. I'm obsessed with it. But first I'm going to be removing that fabric again. I don't want that to rot in its new environment. The way that I take care of carnivorous plants, and it has not proven me wrong just yet, and I've had them for quite a few years, is carnivorous plants love to be wet, like pretty wet. So I pot them in planters like this one that does not have a drainage hole. However, you cannot give them soil that has nutrients in it. So I have soil over here that is literally just cocoa coir. It has nothing else in it. And I'm going to be potting it in that. It is going to be relatively dense, but again, I have not had an issue with this so far. And I water my carnivorous plants like very often. Not every day, but multiple times a week, and they love being moist. They like a lot of light, they like being moist, so hopefully this pitcher plant enjoys it as well. I do have a pitcher plant, it's like above me, like right here, and that one has been very happy doing this. I have a Venus flytrap that I've been doing this with, and then I also have had sundews in the past that have liked it. The only one that I have not been able to figure out so far is a pinguicula, but we'll see about that. Oh, I'm getting blurry again. What are you focusing on? Hello? And then last but not least, I am going to be potting up these two sundews. They were supposed to be two different types of sundews, but I got two of the same kind instead. So I'm going to be doing the exact same thing, where I'm just going to be removing the fabric from the outside. And this type of sundew I've had a ton of, a lot of success with in the past. The only reason why I didn't bring them with me to Texas is just because they're so sticky and they get very long. So I'm going to be potting them up in this, and I'm actually going to be keeping them next to my frogs, so any flies that escape will be able to feed these guys. So I have some more of that just regular cocoa coir, and then the two babies. I'm not even breaking up those roots. And I'm going to be filling it in, trying not to get it on the sticky parts, but sometimes you can't really control that. Attempting. And I only use reverse osmosis water for my carnivorous plants as well. I have an RO machine for my frogs, and I also use it for my carnivorous plants. So my pitcher plants, my sundews, and my Venus flytraps. So I know this is a huge pot for this guy, but they like to be wet. So this is going to be living over by my frogs. I don't know where the rest of them are going to be living just yet, but we'll see. Let me see if I have any other plants that need to be worked on before I end this video. Okay, I do have 2 more plants that are definitely struggling. This is my my jade pothos. Unfortunately, this one did fall as I was moving, and it is very unhappy because of it. It lost a ton of leaves, as you guys can tell, like all the leaves from the top. I have like a little baby plant that seems to be doing okay, but it also lost all the leaves on this vine. So basically I'm just going to be cutting this one way back. I am going to be keeping the root ball that's in here because it is very healthy. It's just like cosmetic damage. So I'm going to be cutting this one way back. And then I'm going to be giving it maybe like 3 or 4 nodes so that I can put it in water and hopefully let it reroot. All of this I'm actually going to be cutting up into pieces and putting it in my terrarium so that hopefully it does a little bit better. If it doesn't take, it doesn't take, but I'm going to be doing the same thing over here and giving it a few nodes. And I just propagate my pothos in water. They really don't need anything crazy. They're so easy. But like I said, this is very, very well rooted in here. So I'm going to be keeping this plant the way that it is. I am going to be putting more soil on the top because I did lose a lot of that soil when it fell. Luckily, it only broke like the cache pot that or the tray that I had underneath. So I'm going to be just making a little bit of my soil mix. And that is just some cocoa coir. And I just get my cocoa coir in these like huge bricks because I also use it for my animals. It doesn't have any fertilizer in it or anything like that that's going to hurt my animals. And then I make my own little concoction with some worm castings. And that's going to give it a little bit of fertilizer for the plants. And then some perlite for some drainage. And I do like 2/3 cocoa coir to like a 1/6 of the other 2. So like a 1/6 worm castings and a 1/6 of the perlite. And I mix it up. So it's not like crazy airy, but it's relatively airy. But it looks nice to me. But I'm just going to be filling this in on top just to be giving it a little bit more coverage because there were some roots showing. And I'm also kind of covering up those bare vines, so hopefully they can come back. But I know she looks so sad and small, but hopefully she comes back one day. But she's real cute. This one means a lot to me. It's one of my first plants ever, so I really wanted it to survive and do okay. I'm not very worried about it. I've brought this plant back from the brink of death a few times, so I'm not that worried about it. But the other plant that had the same fate was my Monstera adansonii, this one. So that one, the pothos was on top, and it fell and hit my Adansonii, and it is so unhappy now. I've lost almost all the leaves on this plant. So this one, I'm kind of going to be using it as an experiment. I do have an Adansonii that I have potted up in one of my terrariums, so hopefully I can take cuttings of that one if this experiment doesn't work. But basically, I'm just going to be cutting this one way back. I'm going to be removing all of these leaves that aren't doing well. And see, it's just like a completely bare vine. All of these leaves just look so bad, unfortunately. This one has some leaves, so again, I'm going to be cutting it a few nodes down so I can pot it up in water. This one is the same. Potting it up in water. And then I'm just going to be cutting this one way back. I have had issues with this plant in the past, just being unhappy with, like, it just drops leaves from above. I think it's mostly just whenever I move, it gets unhappy and I have to, like, restart it. So I've been, like, hairpinning this plant so many times. But I'm just going to be kind of cutting it back. I'm going to leave some of the vines on here because, again, this is just kind of going to be an experiment. It's just some empty vines. I'm going to be covering the top part of the soil with my own soil again, just so, like, the roots aren't showing. I'm going to be putting this plant in a bright spot, so not too bright, but hopefully she will come back. I love this plant, I really do, but it doesn't like change. I've learned that, so hopefully she'll come back. If not, I do have a couple of cuttings, and they usually root pretty well in water. But yeah, I'm actually, instead of putting them in my terrarium, I think I might actually cut all these up and put them in sphagnum moss in my window. I do already have a couple of boxes that I'm doing that with, and honestly I should probably go through and pot up those cuttings, but I don't feel like doing that right now. I have a lot of other plant things to do today, and today is my first day off in quite a while, so I don't want to burn myself out. So I am going to be cutting these up, putting them in sphagnum moss, forgetting about them for a while, and hopefully I'll come back with a nice new plant. While all of these I will be placing in water, and we'll see how the mother plants do. If the mother plants don't do well, hopefully the cuttings will, and if the cuttings don't do well, hopefully the mother plants do. I know this video was like kind of chaotic, but that's just kind of me as a person. But I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a big thumbs up. If you like me, subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you. And I hope to see you guys again on the next one. Bye.